If it hadn't been caught on camera, nobody would have believed it. These shots seem to be from the movie Alien. That thing with some sort of sticky web coming out of its mouth looks really nasty. However, it's a real creature called the Nemertea worm, and the sprout that one of them is releasing is called the proboscis, and it is used for feeding. The worms also eject their proboscis when they sense threat. Nemerteans feed on worms, crustaceans and shellfish. They mobilize their prey with the help of sharp barbs called stylist, venomous glands at the end of the proboscis. When the worms aren't hunting, the proboscis looks like a long tube retracted into the body. A crane was used to lift a car that had been in the river for a very long time. You won't believe what happened next. When the car was already on the shore, fish started falling out of it. Several dozen of them had found their home in the car. Witnesses were shocked and couldn't believe their eyes. This little bird is called the green heron. What do you think it's doing by the water with that piece of bread in its beak? It sounds incredible, but it actually came here to do some fishing. It uses bread as bait to attract fish. Can't even believe that a little bird can be this smart. It could have simply eaten this bread. However, the green heron knows that fish is way more delicious. These safari tourists were watching the baboons when they noticed that the large male was clearly holding something small and fluffy. Everyone was shocked when they saw a tiny baby leopard in its hands. The tourists thought that the cub was most likely deceased and the baboon had just picked it up. However, it soon became clear that the cub was still alive. The baboon was playing with it like a toy, and everyone was anxiously waiting for it to let go of the cub. However, the baboon had no intention of parting with a trophy like that, but a little later, baboon ran after its relatives, leaving behind the leopard cub that was barely alive. Here you can see a young lion cub that had caught a small monitor lizard and was cheerfully carrying it in its teeth, but then something very unusual happened. The defenseless lion cub was attacked by a large buffalo that used its horns to toss the cubs several meters into the air. It was strange that the lions didn't try to protect their baby but simply watched what was happening. The buffalo turned out to be a real savior for the monitor lizard. These shots were made by a CCTV camera. A villager's attention was caught by the cows that were running away in fear. Having seen a predator, it turned out that the lion had caught a calf. Realizing what caused the commotion, the man stepped up and showed real courage protecting the cows. He picked up a stick and threw it at the lion. The animal turned around and ran away immediately, leaving the herd and the calf alone. According to the man, there are many lions in this area, so it wasn't the first time that one of them had attacked a livestock. Here you can see another unusual incident. People noticed a shark stuck in the shallow waters. It was a giant great white, and according to the man who took the picture, the two wounds on its back were made by the propellers of a motorboat. A resident of Norway, Kiel Robertson, decided to get a few close-ups of a seagull and laid out pieces of bread to attract them. However, after eating the bread, one of the birds got interested in his camera. The seagull grabbed it and took off, but the camera kept filming the footage and captured the surroundings from the bird's point of view. After a while, the bird dropped the camera, which apparently was too heavy for it. However, the seagull returned to the gadget and pecked at it a couple of times before flying away. You can see a very unusual way of hunting in the desert. You just speed up in a jeep and chase after a baby goat which for some reason keeps running in a straight line without making any turns. All you have to do is just grab it by the horns and the prey is yours. Base jumping is one of the most lethal sports. That is why only true and totally crazy adrenaline junkies do it. But what these two French athletes did was really hard to believe. They jumped from the top of Jungfrau Mountain in Switzerland, one of the highest mountains in Europe, but they weren't actually planning to open the parachute at the end. They flew through the air and right into the narrow cockpit of a light aircraft. The cockpit is only 1.5 meters wide and there's also the propeller. So, there were a number of things that could have gone wrong, but fortunately they managed to do this trick.